Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hello.
Yes. Yeah, we have nothing to talk about today.
Nope, nothing at all. See you, bye. No, I'm kidding.
That's it. Have a great
Absolutely
day,
kidding. And we always have something to talk about.
everyone. We can talk
Always.
for hours.
hmm
You know what was brought to my attention today? Actually, this just came in now. I was talking to my oldest son this morning, and we were talking about the different religions and uh, kind of like, what does that mean? Because different religions have different things. Like some religions, you have to pray 5 times a day. Others, it's, maybe once a week or whatever it is, whatever that particular belief system, how much you're supposed to speak to God and receive from God and everything.
hmm
And that got me thinking. And I thought, Mari-Lyn and I do that every day. You and I, it's in our own way, but we talk every day.
hmm
There
Absolutely.
is there is on occasion where we just check in, say hi, can't talk today, love you, bye. There are those times. Um, but yeah, so that's our way because we intuit. We immediately, maybe not immediately all the time, but it doesn't take long before we're both in our divine lines and we're intuiting and discussing something.
hmm
And I know that we did a podcast recently where we were talking about a daily practice. Was that a
hmm
podcast? Did we put that on the podcast?
A daily practice. Um,
I think we talked about how you and I don't, like, we get so big, like we intuit every day because we have clients every day and students and clearings and we're doing something every day. And we kind of got out of the doing it
of the
like
personal
that.
aspect.
Yes,
The
yes.
personal aspect.
So if we
Um,
didn't talk about that before, we're sorry. We talked about it off the record.
we did. I think we did talk about it during probably what is spirit, or
Yes,
how do I know spirit's talking to me, or one of those.
one of those.
One of
Yes,
those
yeah,
spirit ones. I'm sure we talked about
yeah,
um
yes.
our personal practice, or sometimes
Lack thereof.
thereof. Yeah.
But then today it really came into focus. It's like, but we're always working on our wound. Always. I don't think there's a day that goes by that one of us, thankfully, it's not both of us at the same time. Occasionally it will be, but
Very, 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 very
yes.
weldom.
Well done. That's a new word. I like that.
Rarely and seldom.
Seldom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah. Very seldom does that
Yes.
happen.
But usually one of us is going through something. And so we are talking and challenging and opening up and getting messages and working through our wounding together. So really
Yeah.
we do kind of have some sort of a practice every day. And that's talking with each other. It's not always like we could sit more often just by ourselves personally and do more. But that was something that just came up today anyway. And I thought, well,
Mm, yeah.
Mari-Lyn's kind of I'm not going to say church, but this is probably more like church for us doing the,
Yeah. Probably.
but anyway, yeah, that just came up. It's like, oh yeah, because days that, like, especially like if we're on, one of us is on vacation
hmm
and we'll still check in, but that's about it. And it's weird. It's really weird not having that. And it feels very empty sometimes not having that time to just intuit together.
Yeah.
And yeah, because every day we get messages and we talk about things and we get really deep, like we do on this podcast.
hmm
Sometimes even deeper, though. We don't always.
We used to,
Oh, That was so amazing.
when we were physically in the same space every day.
Every day. Every day.
And sometimes it literally was every day for weeks on end. And then every once in a while we would say, let's take this day off.
Yes. Yes.
And we wouldn't get together. But during that time when we were together in a physical space, we would get deep.
Yes. Now, I do remember when prior to COVID, I had clients and sessions and things to do when we would still find the time to do that.
Yep.
But then when COVID hit and the lockdowns, and because we're in an area with all the lockdowns and everything, it was just the two of us for hours on end.
Yeah.
Yeah. And boy, the conversations we'd get into. Yes.
I can remember we'd be talking and all of a sudden we'd both go, why am I so hungry? Well, because 5 hours have just gone by and you haven't eaten a thing.
Nope.
And water and tea can only sustain you so far.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
But hours and hours. One conversation that really sticks into my mind was we started talking about codependency.
Woof.
And we went off into so many different legs. And I remember saying, man, it's like a chain link fence.
Yeah.
And it really is. That was
there's a topic.
There is a topic.
A huge topic to talk about. I know. There are so many people, and it's really pervasive. Would that be the right word? Invasive?
Yeah. Both?
Both? Yes. Codependence is. And I think we can get so codependent. It just becomes, oh, that's just who she is, or that's just who I am. I'm caring and I'm whatever. And then when the realization smacks you over the head that you're actually codependent. Woo! That one, there's I don't even know what to say, throwing down of the stairs moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been my experience that codependency, along with enabling, has been so entrenched with addiction and alcoholism.
Sure. Yes.
That I don't think people realize that it lives everywhere.
Oh,
codependency is everywhere. It doesn't have to be an issue of addiction.
No.
Although codependency is
its own addiction.
Yeah. But there doesn't have to be addiction involved between two people for there to be codependency or enabling, either one.
Yes.
But if you are codependent in one area, I can guarantee you are codependent in every area. It might look different.
Yep.
And it might be at a lesser level.
Right. Because there are different levels of codependence.
Absolutely.
But codependence is codependence. And we all have it somewhere within us. Yes. Yeah. And that, enabling, of course, working with as many, recovering drinkers and druggers, whatever you want to say.
But enabling goes beyond the
I just meant that's when it really started. That's when I really started. I was like, because you guys would all talk about it.
Okay. Yeah.
And it was like, oh, like that really, having that beautiful group really opened my eyes to so much, how it's not just with addiction. It is everywhere. It is everywhere. And that really opened my eyes to the many places. It's sneaky.
It's very
It's
sneaky.
sneaky. And it goes right along with empath, being an empath. When a lot of people are told they're an empath and really they're codependent. I mean, we've already had that discussion. We don't need to go
Right.
there again. I'm sure people are like, oh no, turn
Yeah,
off
not the
podcast."
E word, not
I
the
don't
E
want to hear
word.
that again. Yes.
Mhm.
And you can be codependent with people you don't even know.
Mhm.
Especially with social media the way it is today.
Mhm.
So many people are they have that it's even trauma to the point of trauma bonding at times, or unhealed empathy bonds, all sorts of bonding with people that you don't even know. And
Mm.
social media makes you think that you're like best friends with people, or people. I'm sure we've all heard people say, oh, I have a ton of friends, I have so many friends. It's like, really? Because what? Because they're on Facebook, or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Those aren't real friends, I'm sorry to tell you.
Mm.
They're not real friends.
No, they're not. They're not.
But it really gives but they have this weird, well, codependent thing happening. But
I recently got new glasses.
yes,
They were awful. So
I thought they were cute, but I like the ones she had. These ones you have on too.
yeah, well, and they did not fit me well, and I could
No.
not see out of them.
Right. So that's not so good.
So, so I take them back. I send in my frames to have my frames, the lenses put in.
Yes.
Now, my frames fit me perfectly. I was so happy with the way they fit me. Send them in, and I kid you not, whoever was at the lab working on my glasses was codependent, and they were going to do me the service of fixing my glasses and straightening my frames.
Yes. Yes.
And they still don't fit me right.
Yes.
I've been back
Yep.
twice to
Yes.
have them adjusted.
Now, all of you out there who wear glasses know exactly what she's talking about, because our ears are not perfectly centered, and everyone has, I mean, there's so many differences to everyone's faces. You can't just have them perfectly what you're supposed to be able. You're supposed to, whatever's supposed to.
Right? Supposed to means.
Yes. Put them down on the table and everything's all level and everything. But, that in a perfect world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I have spent so much time and energy realizing that there is no perfect world.
Correct.
But whomever got hold of my glasses was, I stick to this. I believe this firmly, that they are codependent and they had to fix my glasses for me.
Yes. Yes.
And it's so not okay. It's just so not okay.
No, when you have to when they're on your face, if you have to move them around to see, there's something wrong. There's something. Yeah. Yes, it doesn't work that way. The codependent comes everywhere.
It does. It comes everywhere, and it shows up in the oddest place.
Now, does that mean that, I mean, there is a line between someone being good at wanting to be good at their job, and then there's also that stepping over the line piece into codependence. There is a line there with everything. Every codependent, there's always that boundary.
Sure.
That line, what's appropriate and what is just you're stepping into someone else's.
What is just
I can help you. I can help you.
Yeah.
I'm going to help this person whom
I'm
never
going to help you whether you
I've never seen. Yeah. Yes. No.
So it's
I'm not sure how we got on codependence. I said something and ended us up there, but But yeah.
You mentioned how deep of conversations we get, and
Oh.
I brought up codependency and the chain link fence.
Oh yes. It's your fault.
It's my fault. It's
You're
my
the
fault.
one. Yes. Yes.
Being codependent can and will keep you from being present in your own life.
Oh boy. Yes. You're too
Because
busy being
you're too busy in everybody else's life.
Yes, jumping in where you don't belong.
Mhm.
Yes. In the name of I'm helping them. Yes. Or they need me.
They need
That's
me.
the biggest codependent piece, right? Is that you
Yes.
can't do this without me.
Yes.
Yeah.
They need me.
Yes. And putting your needs really so that's where codependent really gets tangled.
Convoluted?
Yes, because really you're putting your needs over that person, but it may look like, or you have it in your brain that you're putting that person's needs in front of your own. And that's not true at all.
It is a very twisted dichotomy.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The emotional roller coaster that goes along with codependence, the resentment that comes with codependence, resentment of the person that you're codependent with, resentment of yourself. Mm-hmm. And if both people are codependent,
yes,
and it's working both ways,
yeah,
it's a brain fuck.
Oof. Yes. There's no other way to say it.
There is no other way to say it. Yeah. Because there comes a point when both people are codependent. Mm-hmm. There comes a point where you have to manipulate your own brain to make it about you.
Yes. Yes.
And that's painful.
Yes. That's
really, really painful.
Yeah. What's really painful is when one of you gets it and the other one doesn't. Like you and I, there was a point when we went, oh my gosh, there's some codependence here. And I think you're the one, actually, I totally give you credit for noticing it and then having the courage to say something to me. And then we discussed it and we worked on it. And it didn't take very long because we both got it.
Right.
We both were right in there. And I was like, gross. And we both were, I think we were both dry heaving, like, gross. And we fixed it right away.
But you're right. When only one person, it is hard.
Yeah.
It is very hard. And
to draw that boundary, and that other person's going to come just like screaming at you and throwing around those shaming comments and getting it and trying to make you feel shameful and guilty and all those things. And you taking that, whether, to hold that line, you have to, it's tough.
Or they go just the opposite.
Yes. However, they're going to punish you for breaking their chain of dependence there.
Yeah, that chain of normalcy.
Yes.
False normalcy.
Yes.
But what is normal in that relationship?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have a client, and I won't say her name, but she always listens to the podcast. And you know who you are every Saturday morning. I love you, love you, love you, but I won't say your name. She a couple Saturdays ago, we had done a healing on her. And my team's big healings that knock your socks off. Right?
They are, yeah.
Well, she got her.
Knock your shoes off, knock your socks off. Sometimes they'll even knock your pants off.
Yeah. And she did that. She was like, oh my God, I didn't know how codependent I was. And it was just, that it's everything comes up where you're embarrassed, you're it's gross, you feel sad, you feel, I mean, all, and happy because you've noticed it now. There's all sorts of these emotions that come up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And it's, I have to say, it's no matter what it is, really, but when when a healing can elicit that, is just, I love seeing that. That's like
That's
really the
Yes.
pride of being a healer, is when that
best.
happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So you know who you are and I love you. I'll say it again. And not in a weird codependent way. Yes. But yeah, codependence, moo,
Yeah.
nasty one. Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess that what you had mentioned this and then we just kind of glossed over it, but being present.
Yeah.
Being present really can help with so much wounding, so many different behaviors, and like codependence. Being
Mm-hmm.
present with yourself, being present, being grounded, that, man, the clarity that comes, and the, when you're grounded and you're present, you are so much less likely to have any of those crazy, like codependent or whatever the wounding is, sort of dive into your wounding. It's, you just don't, you're just present and you're here and you're living in the moment. You don't feel like scratching that itch or oh, scratching the itch, yikes, that's something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There is, however, when you're not ever present,
Yeah.
if you are someone who say you're someone who dissociates, or someone
Me.
who half dissociates.
Yes.
Me, I would say I was a half dissociator.
Yes.
Um,
And that's a pretty common thing for us to be ungrounded.
yes,
We humans are ungrounded a lot.
very ungrounded.
And then on top that, yeah. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
But when you learn what it feels like to be grounded and to be present,
Oh,
it can be really uncomfortable
yes, at first,
at
so
first,
uncomfortable.
because you're present
Yeah.
and you have all of this, you got all of it.
Yes.
It's right there.
Yes.
At any given moment, you can
Yeah.
look in and look at anything and everything,
Yes.
and it can be really uncomfortable.
Oof. Yeah.
That said,
Yes. Yes.
it doesn't take long. The process isn't long to get familiar with that feeling and learn how to maneuver through that.
And want to be.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I dissociated, I think as early as 3 years old is when I started. And then I was in my mid-30s when a therapist said, whoa, whoa, whoa. We were in session one day, and my husband was in session with me because we wanted to talk about something that I needed to talk about, and I was having a hard time. Anyway, all of a sudden, Paul was the therapist's name. He's like, whoa, 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 hold on, Pam, where are you? I had gone so far out because that's, talking about personal things was just such a difficult thing for me to do, right? Those really tough conversations. Anyway, so he's the one. That's where I was, diagnosed and etc. And I started dealing with it from sort of a therapy view of how to stop dissociating. And so those things were really great, and I would always try them. And then it wasn't until, I don't think I was in, there's maybe 10 years. I think I was in my mid 40s, I think, when it really, when the bulk of my healing really, like energetically healing, this path, when I learned just the spiritual part of it and the wounding and understanding how to energetically get grounded, woof, that made a difference. That was like, yeah, crazy. And then I wanted, you kind of want to do it all the time. You want to be there. And then you also feel a lot when you do dissociate too. Once you really learn how to ground, once you do dissociate, you really know that feeling too. It's like, oh, I'm out. And then, you call poor Mari-Lyn and say, Mari-Lyn, can you put me back in my body? And she's like, well, if I could find you.
I can find you.
Because you are so far out there.
Where are you?
So
Yeah.
any of you, Mari-Lyn can get me grounded when I'm dissociated, which means she can ground anyone. Let me just be really clear about that. She learned from someone who dissociates. So she's very good at getting someone grounded.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, and so, and even, through the years of healing, I was still dissociating. Once you dissociate, it's really easy to pop out. And we do anyway, just being human,
just being human.
Yeah.
And we're not meant to be grounded all the time.
Correct.
I mean,
Yeah.
How would you come up with great daydreams if you had to be grounded?
Oh, yeah. I love a good daydream.
Yeah.
And that is a form of dissociation in itself, but I think it typically more of just like I love daydreaming. That's a great feeling.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of the time there's more spiritually going on when we daydream than just the daydream.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know what that brings up for me is
I don't.
Well, let me tell you. So some people think that's meditating, or some people think that that's a way to really commune with spirit, and it's so very different. Daydreaming is wonderful and it feels great and it's lovely and and we all know what that's like. We all know what it's like for someone to make a big noise behind you and you come flying back in your body and like, oh my God. But when you meditate, you have to be grounded. When you meditate and you take that time to really get yourself grounded and present, and then the part of you that soul piece that's allowed to sort of leave and go commune with spirit, woof, there's nothing better than that. That's different than daydreaming.
Very.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
excuse me.
amazing.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm boring you. That happens.
No, you are not boring me. I'll be honest. I dissociated just a little bit going back in a memory.
Yeah. Yep.
The memory was I'm standing on the piano bench, putting up a Christmas scene on top of the piano. And I was living this scene.
Okay.
And my husband clapped his hands like really loud. He knew. He knew I was gone.
Well, I'm going to give him a little bit of, he just thought he was being funny. He didn't realize.
Well, he knew he was going to scare the crap out of me.
Yes, but do you really know how far out you were? I mean, anyway, I'm going to give him.
Okay, no, but he knew he was going to scare me.
Yes, he wasn't being an asshole though. He was trying to be funny.
Well, anyway, that big clap came.
Yes.
I remember screaming.
Oh, yeah. Woof.
Jumping.
It pulls you back to reality so fast.
Painful. Oh my goodness. I was so mad.
Yes.
Because I was in such a lovely place.
Yes.
In that Christmas scene.
I would have been cussing up a storm.
Oh man. Woo! Now, in that was nothing like meditation.
No.
That was 100% escape.
Yes.
100% escape.
And it does feel different when you're in meditation and something happens and you get pulled out. It kind of hurts too. And it's like you're kind of in this weird space, but it's not the same. It doesn't even feel,
Mm-mm.
no,
No, it's not the same.
it's still
Whereas
kind of
that,
painful, but
that was like,
yeah,
boom, I
Yeah.
am back in my body. I am present. I am like
yes,
full of all my emotions. In meditation, something like that can happen, and it's not necessarily going to pull you out,
right.
right? You might hear it.
Hmm.
It might jolt you.
Yes,
But if you're in the meditation, experienced enough with meditation,
yes,
you can override and you can stay
yes,
put.
yes.
Not always, but
I
sometimes.
remember a time in meditation, I had forgotten to turn my phone off and it rang. Where everyone just sort of jumps.
I was there.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I was militant about people and turning their phones off and not wearing perfume. I mean, there were a lot of things that I was pretty militant about. And there I
Mhm.
was like, oh, well, if that wasn't humbling, holy shit. Okay. Sorry. Oh, that was awful.
But
Yeah,
we all have to be human.
we all have to be human. Yes.
Mhm.
So
We do.
for some of you out there, I'd like to sort of give you some tips for those people who are wondering, well, am I ungrounded right now? Or am I, um, you know, whatever? Am I present? Am I not? I feel present. I'm not ungrounded. I'm good. Okay. So here's the thing with your hands. I know some of you, those of you who are watching can see my hands, those just listening can.
Right?
You tap on your shoulder and with the same amount of pressure, tap on your knees. And does that feel the same? Or tap on your feet. And Mari-Lyn's going, does not feel the same. Someone's not grounded.
I am not. I am so not grounded right now.
Yes.
So not grounded.
Yes.
No.
That'll tell you right there, grounded, not grounded. And if it feels different, if you don't feel it as much on your knees, it's because you're not grounded. And then you can move up until it feels about the same. And usually it's around, breast area. It's like, oh, okay, that kind of feels. So that's how far out because you should be completely in your body. Hello?
Hello.
Are you there? Hello?
I'm gonna be honest though. Full disclosure.
Yes.
Okay. I think I am going anywhere from here, gone.
Gone.
Here, gone.
She's saying shoulder gone for those of you who aren't seeing.
Right. Sorry, forgot.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
when I'm dissociated, I'm so far out, like I can't even, like my head wouldn't even feel like that's full blackout for me. But yeah. So that's how you can tell. That's a great way to tell. And all of you, and if you're in the car right now, please be careful.
Yes.
Careful doing that. But if you're ungrounded, take a deep breath and ask to be grounded. Yeah. I mean, there's some learning involved in this too, but if you haven't learned how to get grounded, at least start there with breathing.
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another way, if you're really out there and you just can't, let's say you're forgetful or you keep tripping on things. You keep
walking into the door in the door frame.
Keep dropping things. We know someone just recently, one of our beautiful advanced students, love her, won't say her name either because I don't want to embarrass her. You know who you are. She was like eating something or something, and she kept dropping her food. And finally she started laughing and she texted, we have a thread with all of us on there, and she texted, can someone check to see if I'm in my body? I think it's like, oh my God, where are you? Yes, no, you're not in there. Let's help you. Another thing is to eat something really sour, and that will bring you present really fast. And it could just be like an orange or some sort of citrus, something, even hot sauce, anything that'll, it sort of shakes you back.
It's not the same as something sweet.
No.
Something sweet.
Oh, I can eat sweet. I can be dissociated, eat chocolate cake.
I think sugar can actually exasperate
Yes, I agree.
Association. Yeah.
A lot of psychics eat a lot of sugar. It's just there's something about it. I don't even know. But yes.
Well, it can be euphoric.
That's true. Yes, it can be. So it just, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'd like to talk about something else. This came up recently.
Sure. Okay.
Actually, I was talking to that first student client student. She's a student now. Anyway, the one on Saturday morning, the code. Yeah. She is a vegetarian. And so we got on the topic of eating meat and what that means. And there are because she has seen, like many of us have seen, these psychics that just rail on people who eat meat, just literally rail on them, and how it cuts down on your psychic ability, and you're eating another spiritual being, and blah, 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 blah. So obviously you know what side I stand on, because I'm doing the blah, 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 blah thing. I have a few things to say about that. First of all, the animals, just like us, they know what they're coming down to do. They know what they're coming down to do. Now, do I think it's right and fair and just? No, I would like to see laws changed about how these farmers grow poultry, and especially poultry is just gross. It's horrific the way they have them all in those small pens, and the poultry can't even walk or anything. Like, it's gross. However, they know what they're coming to do. And yes, the trauma in their life, that does come through in their meat. So it's, it used to be, I don't know all the religions, but certainly Christian religion, I think, well, many religions pray over their food before they eat it. And that's actually a really good thing to do, to change the vibration of that meat before you put it in your body. But no, it doesn't make you less psychic. Please don't believe that hogwash. I am psychic as hell, and I eat meat, red meat, matter of fact, many times a week. So no, it's not. That's silly.
Yeah.
And they're just pushing an agenda.
Giving gratitude to the animal,
yes,
is what I do.
Yes. And even plants, anything you're eating, gratitude is a good thing to give that food. Yeah.
And when we give gratitude, it reminds us to be grateful for the other things in our life that we become so absent-minded about, like eating. I mean, there are many times where I just don't even give it another thought. And then something will happen and I'll go, oh, dang. A lot of meat that we eat in my household is,
your husband's a hunter.
My husband is a hunter.
Yes.
And so that meat is all, I mean, that animal is given gratitude for giving its life.
Yes.
Immediately.
Yep. And I love that you do that.
And, so anything on top of that is just like gravy.
Yes.
Gravy.
No pun intended, or every pun intended.
Yeah. Yeah. So whether you're praying or just giving gratitude, saying thank you.
Yes.
For the nutrition that you're giving me. Anything.
Yes. And that helps your body, Deva, as well. Yeah. There is a pretty big restaurant chain through Oregon, Washington. I don't know where else. I know it's Oregon and Washington. And I can't eat there. I get sick every time. And the food is so good. Oh, it's so good. one of the things that, and I don't want to say the chain because I don't want it to be
No.
disparaging, because I absolutely love this chain. I do. They're restaurants, hotels, etc. And part of it is they always, they're old historical buildings that they buy, and then they change into bars, restaurants, hotels, etc. It is so, those built, they're so steeped in low vibration, because there's like, you go in, there's like no grids anywhere. I mean, the places are just messed up, and they are so busy. They are patronized. I mean, that's a huge company,
Yeah.
and it's well known. They do a
Yep.
fabulous job. The stress that the chefs and the workers are in
Yep.
while they're preparing the food, no matter how great it tastes, and it does, they have some good meals. That low vibration, the stress of it, or whatever the is going on, because it's always something different, but it makes me sick every time, and I can't eat there. Mari-Lyn has,
Yeah, it's true.
yeah.
I am, I don't get sick from eating there. But I would say 50% of the time I don't feel the best.
Correct. Yes. Now mine is, I have, gut, my gut is where any low vibration is going to end up there. It's just going to go there. But just not, you just feel, after, you just don't feel good.
Ooh, excuse me. Do you know what, what's really interesting talking about vibration and food is if you have two people prepare the same thing.
Yep.
One person loves what they're doing and the other person hates what they're doing.
Oh boy, does it taste in the food.
Oh boy, does it ever.
Ah.
You literally can taste the love.
You absolutely
can taste it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. When the kids were small, we used to go to this, it's a Tex-Mex restaurant. And there was a woman there who cooked her, and she put the love. Man, that food was good. Oh, we knew when we went there on a given night that she wasn't cooking. We were like, oh, she's not in the kitchen tonight. And I said something to the owner once, complimenting I cannot remember her name. And she said, well, the recipes are exactly the same. They all have to follow the same recipe. And I'm like, she puts the love. It tastes different. It's fabulous when she's working. We started looking for her car. Like, is her car here?
That's awesome.
To go if it's not. Then she got why that job. But
every mother's apple pie is the best.
Yes. Oh, that's
maybe
perfect.
It's not apple pie.
Whatever. Yes.
But that's what comes to mind, because it's like everybody says, well, my mother's apple pie is
my mother's whatever is the best. Yes.
And that's why.
Yes.
It's the love.
It is. Yeah. It's the love. Yep. Yep. Yes. That is so funny. Yes. The love that makes a difference.
That's why oatmeal tasted better at my house.
Oh, I don't. There's a saying, oatmeal's better than no meal, and I disagree. No meal's better than oatmeal for me. So it's so gross. The texture.
My great nephew. I mean, from the time he was, but from the time he could eat oatmeal, right? I mean, that's pretty little.
Yes.
He every time into my house, and he would want oatmeal. Well, he get oatmeal at home. His mother hates oatmeal.
Right. And so
hates oatmeal.
Yep.
I love oatmeal.
You put the love in. You put the love in.
Yep. It never dawned on me until right now that, oh my God, that's
why. Yes. Yes. And oh my God, it smells so good. My husband loves it. That's like a weekend treat. Like either Saturday or Sunday morning, he'll make it for himself. And I come down the stairs and I can just smell that. Oh my God, with the brown sugar, and it smells so, he puts apples, and Oh, and I always think, okay, I'm gonna try it again because it smells, and I take a bite and it's like, "Ugh, the texture is so bad. I
I
can't do it.
I eat oatmeal, not all the time, but I do eat cooked oatmeal just plain
Oh, so does he, without anything.
with nothing on it.
Oh, that is so nasty.
It's
It's not bad enough. Okay, you are weird. Sorry, my best friend is so weird.
I'm so weird.
My best friend and my husband are just nutcases.
Yeah. Yeah, my
Love
husband
you.
looks at me kind of funny when I do that. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
oh,
because it's just a pile of mushy grossness. Yes.
it's
Ugh.
oatmeal. Yeah.
Yeah. No meal's better than oatmeal. That's what I have to say. Yes.
Love me some oatmeal.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who do any paranormal stuff, please pay attention to what you're eating when you go.
Mm.
It's very important. Very important. Mhm. Yeah, and
Yes.
even a couple of days before, especially when you're physically going to go to that place.
Yes.
You need a couple of days before. Now, when it's Mari-Lyn and I do a lot, as you all know, remotely, so we do it on Zoom. We're still in the energy, but it's such a much shorter amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So we still watch what we eat. But if we're actually physically going to that location, it's we're really careful about the food we prepare and how we eat for a couple of days. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you need to be careful, need to make sure it's, you think your food, it's of high vibration and good quality. I tend to eat more vegetarian the days leading up. I don't eat a lot of meat before then. I need to have foods that digest a little easier is
Yes.
the reason why, because
Yes.
of my gut issues. But
Mm-hmm.
also meat holds a vibration differently than vegetables will or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of protein though. Eat your protein.
Lots of protein.
Yes. Eggs, nuts,
Lots of
beans.
protein.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So for all of you out there, that is something that is a must to
Mm-hmm.
stay healthy,
And hydrate.
Oh,
Hydration.
yes.
Hydration is so important. And so in those days leading up to I try to eat really hydrating foods, cucumbers, watermelon.
Oh, good. Yes. Yes.
Really hydrating foods.
Yes.
Trying to limit salt.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Although you do need some salt because of the electrolytes. I burn electrolytes really fast, so I have to. But I'll drink either not Gatorade and stuff. That is so bad for you. That's so much sugar. But coconut, yes.
Not very often. I
Not
do
very
not
often.
drink Gatorade very often. But
If you have, like, if you're dehydrated and you need something fast, that's a good something fast. I do coconut water with. I get at Costco. They come in cases. It's not from concentrate and there's no added sugar in it. And that for me works really well. Find out what works best for you as far as electrolytes and staying hydrated.
mm-hmm.
Any energy work.
So important. So important.
And it's really any energy work. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, it's like we're nutritionists or something, which we are not. We are not, and we do not claim to.
No, we are not.
No. But yeah, I know we both
But
drink
we
more
do
now. It's
know
like, oh yeah.
we do know through experience how important it is
Yes.
to be well hydrated and to have that protein to sustain you.
Yes.
Because you're doing energy work, you're doing paranormal work.
Yes.
I don't care who you are. It
No.
takes it out of you.
Yeah. You know, it just came to mind. If you all haven't watched the video on our TCS Everyday Psychics channel, we did a clearing of a restaurant in Reno.
Yes, we did.
Speaking of food and yeah. And
yes, we did.
That building needed clearing so badly. But it affected people. It affected people. And I think even our thumbnail said, it's not the food.
Yeah.
You're not getting sick from the food.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's the extreme. There. I mean, the
And
energetically was a mess. Was a shithole.
yeah. That was
Beautiful restaurant.
one of my students that did the video of that. And I
Yes.
talked to her. I asked her the last time we met about the patrons and the food. And she said it is so much better now.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yes.
Yes. Because people were getting
So
sick.
much better. People were getting sick and they
Yeah.
are not.
No, and it was not the food.
It was not the food.
No, it's like those restaurant chains that we go to here. I just can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's our little thing about eating. Yes, and you don't have to be a vegetarian, although I know some of you like that. Nothing with a face. Don't eat anything with a face, but that's not me.
That's not me either.
Moo. Love a good steak. Ooh, bacon. Yes.
Bacon.
I know that comes from a pig, y'all. So I just didn't say pig. They're probably going, that's not a cow.
Bacon's not a cow. Love me some bacon.
Oh, bacon is so good.
It is so good.
I remember when here's something that's what friends of ours, she was pregnant and it was a couple friend, and she was a vegetarian, very strict vegetarian. She didn't eat fish, even nothing, right? So I guess vegan would be more, I think is what she was. Anyway, she got pregnant and we had Thanksgiving together. We had a Friendsgiving. And she was eating the skin off the turkey. And no, we all just sat there and stared at her. So we all just went, nope, not saying anything. Just gonna pretend like we don't see that happening.
No. That's awesome.
But I'm also glad she did, because she was pregnant. There was something in that she needed
Yeah.
for that baby. So I'm glad, but it was just, we all were just,
that's awesome.
Yeah. Years later, we were able to tease her about it, but certainly not at the time. It's like, no one's,
No.
we always kind of sat down, we're, face down in our plate eating, not paying attention to her eating that skin.
Trying not to look up. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Woo.
Oh,
yes.
Oh,
we are so ready for summer, aren't we?
I am so ready for summer.
Bring it on. We had some beautiful days already this, like May is usually pretty rainy, and it wasn't. What a beautiful May we had. But now it's
parts of June. Parts of June have been really nice. But
I had to turn the heat on yesterday.
Yeah.
It was cold, and I can handle a certain amount of cold. You just put a sweater on it, but it was more than that. Yes. No wonder my sinuses have been going nutty. Yeah. Really difficult.
Yep.
But
and then today, we had sunshine and rain all at the same time.
Yes, we did, which is always fun to watch.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. We don't get those big thunder showers, though. I know you love those.
I do love those. Yeah. I was
every once in a while, but not like
not
Midwest or whatever.
Not like Arkansas.
Yes.
When I visited, I was so hoping to have a big thunderstorm, and no.
Sorry, didn't get one.
No.
I know. I'm always so jealous. They look, as long as I'm indoors, I don't want to be outside. But yes.
Yeah.
Woo. So what can we ramble on about now?
Well,
we talked about everything? I don't think so.
No.
Are you kidding?
We haven't talked about hardly anything. And and we really haven't talked much about being present at all.
Oh yeah. Should we do that?
Because we keep bringing it up, and then we keep getting failed onto something else.
Yeah.
Well, it's because being present can be really hard.
Yes. And now I'd like everyone to take a deep breath and get grounded again.
Right?
Yes. Woo.
Okay, tapping my shoulders.
Yes.
Tapping my knees.
I'm good. I'm pretty, and my feet, not bad. You can see the look on Mari-Lyn's face.
I felt grounded, but
Ooh.
yeah.
Want some help?
Wow. Sure. Who doesn't love to just be grounded?
I know. It's a beautiful feeling. Here you go. Yes, I know. And all of my students out there listening, make sure you're grounded. You know how to do that. Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes. It's lovely. So something that has this keeps hitting me, and I keep walking away from it, and so I don't want to. It's like I
Ooh.
talk about that, and I walk.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about that. It's something that's happened to me recently, so Mari-Lyn knows. We all have doubt, right? We all doubt in life in different
Yeah.
things. And yes, sometimes I doubt. I am one of the most trusting of spirit people that you'll ever meet. I mean, I trust with everything I have. Although the humanness kicks in once in a while, and I start doubting. I never doubt. I've always said I never doubt spirit. I never doubt spirit. Right. But I'll doubt myself. And it was very clear. We get together, a group of us on Sundays, and do meditation. And it was very clear when Fred stepped in and said, when you doubt yourself, you're doubting me. And even right now, I have tears.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just never thought of it that way, because I trust more than anyone. I trust spirit more than, I mean, I have such great faith and trust. And when he said that to me, man, that one, that hurt, because it's absolutely true. When you doubt yourself, you're doubting spirit. You're doubting what spirit can do for you. You're doubting what you can do. It's that woof. I know I wrote something else down here too, and I don't know where it was. I always, as you all, my memory, when we're channeling, I don't always remember everything, so I tend to write things.
It's hard.
Yes,
it's hard, and I don't write things down, and
you remember better than I do. Not when you're in your channel though. Okay, I'll take that back, because those times you don't. But I was told to stop underestimating. That was the word that I was, and I stop.
Yeah.
When you doubt, you underestimate your abilities. You underestimate your valor. You underestimate what God can do.
Yeah.
And God, spirit, universal energy, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. You're doubting perfection. You're doubting perfect. You're doubting that thing that we're all connected. We're all part of that energy, and it shouldn't be doubted. How can you doubt it? We've had so many miracles happen in our lives, and I'm where I am today because of because of spirit. And to doubt myself is doubting. Yeah, that was huge for me yesterday. And I know it seems really simple, y'all, but you know, when you have blinders on and someone comes in and rips that blinder off, how you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to talk for a second about that word perfection.
Oh, okay.
Because I know there's at least one person out there going, no such thing as perfect. No such thing as perfect.
Right.
I
beg to differ. As humans, hell no, there's no.
This was, I don't know when this was, probably last year sometime. I was writing a blog, and I think it was about expectations.
Yes.
And Cowboy brought to me that perfection
Mhm.
has been twisted from
I remember this now. Yes. Mhm.
a feeling, if you will,
Mhm.
um, to something that we can actually become, to
Yes.
something we can achieve or become.
Oh,
Perfection is that love that
yes.
we feel when our spirit recognizes
Yes.
more love.
Yes.
It's that is perfection.
Yes. Yes.
That pure love. Um, when you see a baby and you
Oh,
have that
oh,
from your heart
yes.
warmth, that's perfection.
Yes.
Not the baby. Yeah, the baby's perfect, but that's not the perfection. It's that
Of course, my grandson is perfect, but
feeling.
we're talking about other babies. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, skipping over that one, Grandma. Uh-huh.
grandmas are entitled to think that their
Thank you. Yeah.
grandchildren are perfect.
Yes.
And they are perfect in this imperfect world.
Yes.
They really
Yes.
are.
We haven't fucked them up yet.
Haven't exactly.
Working on
Like,
it. Ooh. Yes.
anyway, doubting that perfection
Yeah.
is doubting that pure love and joy that is within all of us,
Yes.
and that is spirit.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well said. Well said. Yes. And
Thank
when
you, not my
we,
words.
huh?
So thank you, not my words.
Oh, well, you had to say them though.
I did have to say them.
That feeling when, and we've all felt it, even if if there's someone out there saying, well, I've never felt that, I don't know. You have, it just comes at time, it can be we will shut it out, but it can really happen. What's
Yeah.
coming to me now is there's someone out there who, this is more than one person probably, but those times when we have that deep, ugly cry and there's that relief, almost that relief after. There is somewhere in between the cry and the relief, right before there is when spirit touches our heart space and our soul and our spirit come together and we are in that, and there's that connection there that is perfection right there. That's the love.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's it. And that's one thing that the more you walk this journey, the more you get involved in your own spiritual journey, you'll feel that more and more.
Mhm.
A lot more often. Yeah. And it's a beautiful feeling, but that's not perfection. And
Yeah.
we can't sustain that. There's no
No.
way as a human to sustain that.
No, there's not.
But to strive to do that is,
And
but
we
not strive to be perfect. I'm not saying
no,
striving to be perfect.
no, because we
Striving
can't.
to just sit in that beautiful feeling of knowing that you are loved that much.
Experience it.
To experience it. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
We cannot achieve perfection, but we can experience it in that way.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like nothing other.
Mm-hmm.
Like no other, whatever I'm trying to say.
Like no other. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's another part of doubt. I'm shutting out. When I doubt myself, I close the door on spirit to say, wait a minute, I love you. And I am going to walk with you and take you to places that you can't go on your own, but you have to let me in. And as soon as you start doubting,
that door closes.
That door closes. And that's on me. Spirit never leaves you. For anyone who ever thinks, well, sometimes spirit's not there. No. No, spirit is always there. It's up to us to open the door. What?
Pam, I can't see Cowboy anymore. He left me.
Yes. I remember that.
Yes. And
Yeah.
you just laughed.
Yes. Yes. Because well, and I've been there too. It's not, I just went there before you.
And I even knew.
Of course.
Logically, these things, it's not true, but that fear is so great
Yes.
that we just lose all sense of anything.
Yes. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Spirit is with you. Whoever needs to hear that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit is with you, is always with you. And I have this vision right now. Someone's like in their car, like calling bullshit. Like, no, that's not true. No, I ask all the time and I never get an answer. You're not getting an answer because you're not in the frame of mind to receive that answer.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's about us. They're always there.
Always there. And there's many reasons why we're not getting the answer.
That's the answer.
Okay.
Right? Sometimes that's the answer. Yeah.
Yeah. We want it to be what we want it to be.
Yes.
And we're not willing to hear anything else.
Oh, yep.
We just flat out don't believe.
Right. Yes. What happens to me is I'm an overthinker, and I will get into that place of doubt and overthinking, and I can't hear shit when I'm in that place.
Mm-hmm.
When my vibration is to that point and I've closed those doors, I've become so, it's like I have blinders on. No, I'm in doubt of myself. I can't hear. They're there screaming like, hello, hello. And I can't hear it. It's not until I'm able to start pulling myself out of that. That's when I start hearing that. Or my son this morning started talking and I was like, oh my God. Thank you. Fred spoke through him to me. My son had no idea that's what was happening. None whatsoever. But I needed to hear something and I just couldn't hear it. And it came through him. That happens a lot. And I think sometimes if it comes through a person maybe we don't like, or someone we're in a hurry, whatever it is, and somebody's talking and we just kind of like poop because it's coming from that particular person. That happens, but listen. You don't have to give that person credit, although it would be nice to, but you don't have to, but listen. But I know I used to always be like, if it was someone I didn't like or whoever it was, it didn't matter. If I just, whatever reason, didn't want to listen to that person, whatever the beautifulness that came out, whatever they said, I wasn't going to hear. But anyway, spirit talks to us through other people too.
Yes.
And don't be so quick to shut that down.
And I'm gonna tattle on you just a little bit, because there are times, and this message was one of them. You've received this message like at least 3 times in the past 5 days. But that's not uncommon.
No.
It's when you realize the message is coming from spirit, you'll go, oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Because sometimes
Mm-hmm.
you need that assurance that it's really coming from spirit.
And sometimes it's the particular verbiage or, something like that. Like the way it came through my son, it came through in his verbiage. And I was able to hear that and make the connections. Oh, and then I started talking to spirit, and then spirit, I got it in a different way, even still. Yes.
So, and I guess I
And
don't get
that's ego. That's
I
definitely
don't-
ego.
I brought that up though. There's so many different ways to bring a message,
Yes.
and we're not going to always get it the first time.
No.
We just don't. We all process information so differently that, I mean, there's so many times. Yes, Pam speaks fluid, Mari-Lyn, but there are still times where I'll say something and she's like, what? Huh?
What? Yeah.
What?
Or here's what I do to Mari-Lyn all the time. And it doesn't bother her anymore because she knows me now, and so she knows how my brain works. She'll say something and then it has to go in. I don't know the like mouse maze it has to go through in my brain, but it has to go through all these little tunnels and whatever, and then it comes spitting back out my mouth. And she's like, isn't that what I just said? But it comes out like it's if it's my own thought,
Right.
or my own. And she just looks at me and I'm like, oh, you just said that, didn't you? Sorry. But it had to go in and process through my whole processing system to get it. And then I vomit it back out. And yes, and I don't mean it to sound like, oh, this is my bright idea, because it wasn't. But that's how at one point we had to work through that, because you're like, God damn it, Pam, that's what I just said. Why does it have to be your idea? And I'm like, what? What do you mean? Like, me saying it again is I think I'm just acknowledging you, but the way it was being taken, and I totally get that though.
And that was my wounding.
Yes.
That was totally my wounding.
But I also totally get someone doing that to you and you'd be like, what the hell? Like,
yeah, no accident that was something we had to work through.
Yes. No.
Because I had to heal that. I had to work through that.
Yes.
And you helped me do that.
Yeah.
And in more ways than just that. But yeah.
Yes. Well, and then I had to learn how to, when I repeat it, to, I can't think of that word that I'm looking for. Qualify that this is what you said, right? Like, repeat it that way. Like, yeah, I hear you. This is what you're saying, right? For both of us. And that's a good, and I'm sure it wasn't just you over the years who have thought that. I'm sure there are a lot of people that are like, ah, bitch. Man, she just took my idea, and she was, I was like, no, I really wasn't. I just have to process it in my brain that functions a lot differently than other people's brain.
Oh, my brain functions so differently than other people's. It's not uncommon for people to go, huh?
What the hell?
What?
Yes.
It makes sense in here.
And that's why speaking Mari-Lyn fluently is so good. Yes. Yes. It's like speaking Pam. Mari-Lyn speaks Pam.
I do.
Yes. Thank goodness. That it really clears up a lot of like extra talk.
And it's so amazing though that we understand each other so well, but our thought process is so different.
Very different. Yeah.
It's so different.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Whew.
Well,
yeah, I know. I wonder if that's a good place to stop. I don't know. I hope everyone's having a good time. I'm certainly having a great time. I love these conversations.
I love these conversations. They're great. Yes.
And so being present. Hey, getting back to that. Yes. So remember to be present. That's really being present that's a place where you can see the signs, you can understand what spirit is telling you. That's why it's so important. I know we've said this before. If any of you go to a psychic, a healer, whatever it is, under the big umbrella of psychic, and ask them if they ground. And if they say, oh no, it's not necessary, peace out. Like, okay. Yes. Although there are some people who think they get grounded and they don't. But that's a yes. Learning how to ground and stay grounded. Yes. And we have some meditation on our channel way back over a year
We
ago.
do.
Started.
Right at the beginning. There's
Yes.
like 5 of them.
And they're at the beginning of each of those meditations. Mari-Lyn does a beautiful grounding exercise that can help you if you need help grounding, or what the hell is grounding. Listen to them.
Yeah.
And the meditations are fabulous too.
Yes, they are.
And they're all channeled if anyone wants to know. I don't know what's coming until they get there. I have no idea. I do not have them written down. I do not, like, none of that. That's everything comes right at the moment. That's what channeling is, right? It just comes.
Yep.
It doesn't even stop. It's like just goes right through my head, right out my mouth from spirit. And Mari-Lyn does the same thing, but we were talking about these meditations. So, all right. Good place.
Ooh,
Maybe, or do you have something else?
No, I think so.
We've talked about being present. We've talked about oatmeal. We've talked
did.
about doubt.
We talked about dissociating. We've talked
Dissociating.
about codependency.
Oh, food.
And food.
Yeah.
Being
Vibration and
grateful.
being grateful.
Yeah.
We've really sort of ran the gamut today.
Mhm.
Yes. If any of
been
you
all over.
would like to, what'd you say?
I said we've been all over.
We
all over
have.
this. Yeah.
If any of you like to know more about us for a session, or you have activity in your home, whatever it is, whatever you want. You know what? We're at tcseverydaypsychics.com. You can learn more about us.
You can contact us through there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we are so very grateful that you tuned in.
Yes, we are. If there's a topic you would like us to talk about, let us know.
Let us know. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.